We're going to turn now to that stark new warning from the Department of Homeland Security, growing threats of violence from homegrown extremists in the wake of the Capitol siege.
House Minority Leader Kevin McCarthy, who met with President Trump just today at Mar-a-Lago in Florida.
Freshman GOP Representative Marjorie Taylor Greene under fire from critics as an extremist promoter of baseless conspiracy theories.
Welcome to Open Source News. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and turn on the notifications bell so you don't miss out on real news.
Welcome to Open Source News. I am your brother and your host, BCP. Please receive a big hug from all of us here at OSN. We are a family operation and we consider you our family as well. By the way, if you want to officially be adopted, just hit that subscribe button and make sure you like this video. I'm going to do this again. I did it yesterday. This is a remix with news clips. This is an edited version of the highlights from our two live streams on Thursday, January 28th, 2021. As I asked you last time, please put down in the comments below if you like us doing this format. I don't know if we'll be doing it regularly, but right now we're giving it a whirl. A lot of people are not getting notifications. Our videos are not being suggested. And we understand that not everyone can see our live streams twice a day. So we thought we'd condense it down for you and give it to you here. The highlights of the two live streams we had on Thursday, the 28th. Watch and enjoy and give us your feedback down below.
We're going to turn now to that stark new warning from the Department of Homeland Security, growing threats of violence from homegrown extremists in the wake of the Capitol siege. It's the first national terrorism advisory from DHS in a year.
Homeland Security issuing a rare urgent bulletin warning the public and police that the threat from domestic terror is high.
DHS says you are a threat. Yesterday, they issued a national terrorism advisory, and it's going to be in effect for several weeks. But here is the kicker. Let me read this to you. And the source of this, I've got to give you my sources. It is on Twitter. DHS issues a National Terrorism Advisory System Bulletin. And here's what it says. We remain concerned that individuals frustrated with the exercise of governmental authority and the presidential transition, as well as other perceived grievances and ideological causes fueled by false narratives, could continue to mobilize a broad range of ideologically motivated actors to incite or commit violence. All right, let's digest this for a second. The Department of Homeland Security, which has now should be worried about the fact that the border wall has stopped construction, that there are people coming into our country illegally, run many times by cartels, mafia, drug, trafficking cartels. No, that's not a danger. Danger are the people who are not happy with what's going on. We remain concerned that individuals, okay, so now it's individuals. It's not groups. It's not, folks, this verbiage is important. They're concerned with individuals frustrated with the exercise of governmental authority. So we have a government agency targeting individuals who are not happy with governmental authority in the exercise thereof in a country that has a constitution that limits governmental authority. In other words, you Americans, we Americans who love the Constitution are a cause for concern to the Department of Homeland Security. The people they're supposed to be protecting are the ones they're afraid of. Usually that's a recipe for people to start thinking, what are they hiding? What are they really up to?
According to the new bulletin, right-wing militants and lone wolves may target elected officials and government facilities and may be emboldened by the January 6th breach of the U.S. Capitol.
But here is the kicker. This is the DHS bulletin. There is currently a heightened threat environment across the United States that is likely to persist over the coming weeks. But check this out. Quote, they, quote, do not have any information to indicate a specific or credible plot. So they have no information to indicate a specific or credible plot, yet we're under a heightened threat environment for the next weeks against individuals who aren't happy with the results and question the legitimacy of it, and the overreaching power of the government to enforce by force, like a banana republic, the installed regime. Journalists are supposed to question the official thing coming out of Washington or anywhere. The job of journalists is to question authority and hold them accountable, not just repeat their talking points. Well, that is what the Biden regime wants, and they are seriously considering banning conservative media from the press briefings. Remember when President Trump temporarily ousted Jim Acosta, and some judge said he can't do that, he's got to get back in? I mean, that was ridiculous. But of course, that was one of many lawless things that were done by the courts and hacktivist judges. I wonder if we'll see the same concern for conservative journalists if they're ousted from the White House press briefings. Probably not. President Joe Biden's press team may move to restrict the briefings held at the White House to liberal mainstream media outlets if language from the new president's deputy press secretary is more than just talk. Quote, organizations or individuals who traffic in conspiracy theories, propaganda, and lies to spread disinformation will not be tolerated, TJ Ducklow, Biden's deputy press secretary, said in a statement to Politico, as we'll work with the WHCA to decide how to handle those instances moving forward.
Freshman GOP Representative Marjorie Taylor Greene under fire from critics as an extremist promoter of baseless conspiracy theories.
If we are going to save the GOP, we need more people like the firebrand Marjorie Taylor Greene.
But in her Georgia congressional district, Representative Greene ran unopposed and won by 50 points.
Peter Strzok, a name I haven't uttered in a long time, but totally a deep state player. Trump should have put his hiney in jail. But unfortunately, we didn't get anything from Jeff Sessions or AG Bill Barr. This is what he tweeted out. According to this reporting, Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene Facebook account repeatedly liked posts calling for killing FBI agents. She needs to be investigated and removed from office. Now, to clarify that, she liked comments about holding wicked, deceitful, deep state traitorous, bastard FBI folks accountable. She didn't say that they should be ixnayed, they should be exterminated. She just liked comments that expressed frustration. She liked the comments that expressed frustration. And of course, someone in a post on Facebook could have 14 paragraphs, and they're just going to find that one line that they don't like and make that the crux, and then say that that's what they said.
Responding to the criticism in a statement, she wrote in part, over the years, I've had teams of people manage my pages. Many posts have been liked. Many posts have been shared. Some did not represent my views. As to her fringe views, Republicans know about them, and they gave her a committee position, the House Education and Labor Committee. And now top Democrats are slamming the GOP, seeming indifference to Greene's actions.
Okay, wait for it. Wait till you see who Shep Smith and CNBC quotes as if this person has moral authority.
Speaker Pelosi calling the appointment appalling.
Isn't that just rich? Nancy Pelosi commenting on a committee appointment as if she didn't put the spy who loved me, Eric Swalwell, back on the Intel committee. If there is someone who has absolutely no moral ground to talk about committee assignments, I can't think of a worse person than Nancy Pelosi. Well, Marjorie Taylor Greene pushed back in a tweet yesterday. She said, you and CNN are both co-conspirators in the biggest lie ever told to the American people, the Trump-Russian collusion conspiracy theory. You used Steele's lying dossier to lie some more to FISA and spy on Carter Page. Your politically motivated betrayal demeans the FBI. So she responded to crooked Peter Strzok. Oh, but she's not done. Hillary Clinton said of Marjorie Taylor Greene, This woman should be on a watch list, not in Congress. Marjorie Taylor Greene tweeted, actually, Hillary Clinton, you should be in jail. Hashtag lock her up. See, this is not the kind of Republican that McCarthy is, that McConnell is, where the left goes after them. They put their tails between their legs and they scour away. No, she's a fighter. How about this one? This is from Senator Warnock. This is dangerous and unacceptable for a member of Congress. Once again, talking about Marjorie Taylor Greene. We're entrusted to serve and represent all of our constituents. This extreme and violent rhetoric only fans the flames of division, and we've just seen how deadly those flames can be. Then Marjorie Taylor Greene says, you of all people that preaches ABOR Shin. ABORTION. From the pulpit should not judge. You of all people that preaches that from the pulpit should not judge. You don't believe the very word of God that created us male and female in his image and declares, before I formed you in the womb, I knew you. Pastor, being a heretic is far worse than fake news. Wow. She went there. And then, of course, she also tweeted out a picture of Joey brindando, giving cheers, tinkling of a I don't drink, so I guess what would I be, a goblet, not a goblet, a wine glass, with CCP dictator Xi Jinping with a hashtag impeach Joey, but his last name. Those are the kinds of scrappers and fighters that we need. And I think President Trump may be telling McCarthy, be prepared, because there's a lot more of those coming in through the GOP. You're either on board or we're going to railroad you as well. President Trump is letting him know that he is truly still the leader of the Republican Party. Politico did this great thing where they put a schematic up on Twitter of all of the Oval Office and all the surrounding offices and who occupies them. And I thought this was very telling and very key, seeing that Joe Biden just recently signed more executive actions and orders and directives having to do with racial equality in America, because according to him, America is not living up to her ideals and is truly a racist country. And what better way for him to give an example, according to his own standards, of the racism in America than to have a White House that's occupied mostly by white people. And yet another blaring example of the hypocrisy of the current regime, notwithstanding the supposed historical vice president, it is business as usual when it comes to the hypocrisy of the left. Politico tweeted out, we've done some digging and pieced together who occupies most of the offices on the first two floors of the West Wing. Here's the latest layout, and they do it. Now, this is the breakout. Let's see. All but four, and this would be of the people that occupy both the first and second floors, all but four, and those would be Cedric Richmond, Adrian Saenz, Susan Rice, and Kamala Harris. Of the 22 people with the prime office on the first and second floors of the West Wing are white, 11 men and 11 women. These are they who have the most face time with Biden every day. So only 4 people who are not white, Susan Rice and Kamala Harris, are not even new people. I mean, as far as, bringing up people into the White House, Harris is the chosen one from the deep state and the Democrats, not popular, pretty much unliked by people in her own party. Let's call a spade, no pun intended. And Susan Rice is a swamp creature. But this should come as no surprise that the Joe Biden Democrat White House is in fact just that, white.
You know, John, the former president, Donald Trump, as we've been reporting, he met with the minority leader, Kevin McCarthy, today down at Palm Beach, put out a statement afterwards. The Trump campaign put out a statement saying his endorsement means more than perhaps any endorsement at any time. That's the former president of the United States talking about his own endorsement. What do you make of that?
Well, that picture speaks more than 1,000 words. It speaks a million words. Look, the former president likes himself. There's no surprise there. That's not breaking news. He thinks he's the most powerful president ever. Look, his political standing has been diminished significantly nationally. However, that picture tells you everything you need to know. Kevin McCarthy wants to be speaker. The Democrats have a very narrow majority in the House. Kevin McCarthy thinks kissing the ring and making this, without a doubt, the party of Trump going forward for the next 2 years is his path to the speakership. What is the effect of that? Wolf, you see it. You see it in the conversation we're just having about Marjorie Taylor Greene.
So there you're seeing this picture that House Minority Leader Kevin McCarthy and former President Trump took today in Palm Beach at the president's home there in Mar-a-Lago. We haven't really heard much from former President Trump. This is, I believe, the first photo image we've seen of him since he left the White House on January the 20th. So we did just wanted to break in there and update you on what's been going on down there in Florida with the former president. So
let's get back to McCarthy and President Trump. House GOP leader Kevin McCarthy met with former President Trump at Mar-a-Lago. I am reporting what is being reported on Fox News Thursday, where the two agreed to work together on Republicans taking back the House in 2022. McCarthy, who once said Trump bears responsibility for the deadly January 6th Capitol riot, reunited with Trump in Florida for a good and cordial meeting with McCarthy, where McCarthy welcomed Trump's support in promoting GOP House candidates in the next election, according to a readout from the Trump's team. Actually, right after the meeting, Kevin McCarthy tweeted out, "United and ready to win in 2020, where he had a statement, which I will read to you in just a moment, of reading with the president. So we're getting this from both parties that this meeting was a success. Quote, President Trump has agreed to work with Leader McCarthy on helping the Republican Party to become a majority in the House, according to a statement from Trump-aligned Save America PAC, Political Action Committee, PAC. They worked well together in the last election and picked up at least 15 seats when most predicted it would be the opposite. They will do so again. The work has already started." So obviously the point of this meeting was to align President Trump, not with a third party, not with patriots, but with the Republican Party to win back the House. Now, I'd love to win back the House with the GOP, especially if we have more people like Marjorie Taylor Greene. If you're not convinced or know that she's a absolute patriot warrior, please watch my live stream from this morning. This is a statement from Kevin McCarthy following the meeting with President Trump. Sorry, let me get some water here. Palm Beach, Florida, Republican leader Kevin McCarthy of California, 23rd District, issued the following statement today. House Republicans and the Trump administration achieved historic results for all Americans. We were able to do this because we listened to and understood the concerns of our fellow citizens that had long been ignored. As a result, House Republicans defied the experts and the media by expanding our growing coalition across the country, which is true. There was no blue wave. The Democrats in the House lost seats and lost their majority. They still had the majority, but less of one than they would have had. I believe it was 15 seats that swung in favor of the Republicans. Today, President Trump committed to helping elect Republicans in the House and Senate in 2022. A Republican majority will listen to our fellow Americans and solve the challenges facing our nation. Democrats, on the other hand, have only put forward an agenda that divides us, such as impeaching a president who is now a private citizen and destroying blue-collar energy jobs. For the sake of our country, the radical Democrat agenda must be stopped. A united conservative movement will strengthen the bonds of our citizens and uphold the freedoms our country was.
Hey, I'm Ember.
So, and there's a picture of them together in Mar-a-Lago, which looks very Trump-esque with lots of gold fixtures and nice rugs, what have you. Actually, the rug they're standing on kind of reminds me of the rug that we have on the set of BCP, the BCP report. So anyway, so that's that. And I like this last sentence. It pretty much tells you, forget about President Trump rallying behind, being part of, or forming a third party. A united conservative movement will strengthen the bonds of our citizens and uphold the freedoms of our country was founded on. A united conservative movement. In other words, not a divided one. Of course, that's going to make lots of you happy that we're totally against my suggestion, my support of a third party and separating ourselves from the swamp. What is a recipe for, what is a definition, I should say, of insanity? Many of you may have heard this. The definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result. Well, I think a form of insanity is expecting politicians in DC to fix the DC political problem. You don't fix a problem by introducing or relying on the same problem. So this is where it's at. Now, I believe and I know that President Trump is the leader of the conservative movements. He is the true leader of patriots politically. And I will support him on this. Folks, I am in for the long haul. I'm in for the good fight. That is why they're trying to suppress my voice. I support our duly elected President Donald John Trump. I believe him to be the legitimate winner. But he is not fighting that fight right now. He's fighting to help the Republicans win in 2022. And that is the reality of the situation. If you like this video, hit the like button and subscribe if you haven't already. Until the next episode, ciao, goodbye, and God bless.